It's day 1494 the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Today we are doing Yeridea. Simon Reish Pei Vav Siv Chafei Talam and Gimel. Chafei. V'zesh Kosev. That's what she said. She had Gova Asur Tfachim. That the doorpost had been done for Chai. He's Bar B'Sim Reish Pei Zayin. It's been explained. Ram Zesh Kosev She Abai School. The house is be for mundane use. Kvar birds. But it explained. Became Asher Kosev Asur There's Adam. Say for human habitation. Kvar is Bar Shkol Kim Alabazeh. Some say it does not have to be habitation. V'zesh Kosev She Asur There's cover that's made for a respectful habitation. Kvar is Bar already explained. V'zesh Kosev Asur There's Keba. That you need for permanent habitation. Ochid Beirusha. This doesn't mean to say Limute. Kamo sukkah. They include things like sukkah. She diras a right. Like the chag sukkahs is only temporary abode for sukkahs. So shon rabbinu b'is yosef. So we have sukkahs chag b'chag, a sukkah of the sukkahs sukkahs a bayis b'sfina, and a house on a boat. V'achani yosef b'shvachim. Stores in the marketplace. Between their exam account shom nation diras a right. That is what it means there. Diras a right. That's a shach. But feel yoshim sham. Actually no. That nation Dir Sarai is the same as the Shach, and that has to be explained. For Yoshim Sham Kol Yom, they're sitting there all day. Kol Kol Nevertheless came to life, and Yoshim Sham is not there sitting there at night. Having Dir Sarai, that's the finest Dir Sarai. Between that's the Taz. Avachanusha Beisov, you have a store in your house, which is open to Rosh Hashanah, even though it's open to Rosh Hashanah, it's required to have mezuzah. Chavav. Ani is like Dibra Rabbeinu Beis Yosef. Unfortunately, because with Din Chayos Halacha Mod Muim. The Halacha of the Beis Yosef and the other unfortunate about stores is very difficult. The Din Zeh Meir Rambam. This also Rambam Shom the Din Tesh Chos of Zel Shon. The Rambam writes as follows: Chaniyos Shabashvakim. Stores and markets between them. They're examining nation and Ekvun Ladir because they're not permanently designated for dwelling. Kamel means the fish he toss according to his opinion. The Matsu Shia requires them to be designated for human habitation. So it's a spotter because he holds a warehouse as spotter. But we hold a warehouse as chayv. So why should a store be any worse than a warehouse? So he's always merchandise there. Unfortunately, Tosin Mishum Diras Arai Poter. Unfortunately, say okay, it's Diras Arai, but ain't okay. It's not true. But I said the Rambam Mikoda because it didn't go as fina. The evidence is Rambam himself writes previously a sukkah and a boat to custom at time fish ain't a deer's kvav is and explains why it's not a deer's kvav. Fish ain't assume a deer's kvav. They're not assumed, not made for a permanent boat. Chaniyos kasav fish in kivuyim ledira. Different language. They're not set up for dwelling. Klamar ledira sadam. In other words, not set for dwelling for human beings, only for merchandise. But we are mechayiv for merchandise. Bracket says here about two low kashali. I'm not don't have to go on the tour. They should maybe call it base at 7. Come down to Rambam. Since he brought down the opinion of the Rambam by warehouse for straw. Come down to the Rambam. So just going to Rambam here. I was sure Levi Cloud Das Rambam. Does not bring the Rambam. So I complain the Dino Kol Chanus Chayv Zimzuza. So the Maitza. Every store should be chayiv in mezuzah. Now, I don't know what he's going to say about a bracha, but he requires it's no worse than a chayiv than an oitzer. Chav time, but that the sukkah b'turim the that was sukkah exempt sukkah from a sukkah is exempt from mezuzah. Zel b'sukkah sharak b'sukkah yoshim ba. It's a sukkah where you only sit there on sukkahs. Not the rest of the year. Avo sukkah shalom bar sukkahs which are made in a room. They had sophisticated sukkahs in the room in the house. I guess some of them were. Sukkahs they took off the roof. They made a put schach there. Near the Gam sukkahs so even on sukkahs itself. It's a set the boat for the entire year. Also that which talks about a cabin on a boat. The based on it's a temporary boat on a boat. I've seen our boats. Which have cabins which are permanent. Like their boat is probably like a barge, which the temporary tent pitched on it, but a cruise ship. Now, which have set rooms. And even on river boats. They have boathouses on their river boats, like a canal boat. It's a set boat. The bracket says here, but these 300 you don't know the source of the halacha by boats. V'abachkos of shemotzakos of Tosefta here, and Shami says it's Tosefta. V'chibaso matzasi, or she'll look for the Tosefta and cannot find it. Chav ches. Mina Besukkah says Sukkah Shnei Sukkah Sheyotzi, two sukkahs of potters. People make pottery. Zulifnim Yisu, one within the other. Abnim is Chavis, inner one is Chai Mezuzah. Lachisah, the outer one is exempt from Mezuzah. Perish Rashi, Derech Yotzim Mosim Lam, Shtei Sukkahs. The way potters used to work it, they used to have two sukkahs. Abnim is the art. He's living the inner one. Matziach, Erosim used to hide his pots there. So no, Osem Lachtu. And the outer one he used to do his work. Matziach, Erosim going to take out his pots to sell. Parachin is the ass. The Tabich Chitonik and Beishar Abnimis. Let the outer one be like a gatehouse for the inner one. Perish Rashi, Chai Mezuzah, Mirabonan. And Rashi says, we Chai Mezuzah. The Rabbanon tied to Shum the low kviya. So the answer is because it's not set. There's Rashi lo zu for lo zu davar kavua. Truth is neither of them are kavua. I guess the potters move from time to time. And the inner one is not significant enough to have a beishar. Comes out from what he's saying directly in a beishar patura shum lo kviya. A beishar is part of it's not kavua. I've a primus of the one. I've got the Amilo Kvi, even though it's also not Kavua. Come, nevertheless, sub Hare Darba Kol Shana. He draws lives the whole year. This you can deduce. The Yesh Le'echad Sukkah, if it serves as Sukkah, she be near Arai, which is a temporary structure. Coming Darba, Kol Me'eshara. He lives there all year. Dafka Dira Kvur. Simply if it's his set dwelling place. I mean, a Darba, if he doesn't dwell there, if it's temporary, if it's a hut, which is really not meant as a kavua. Hut is sometimes kavua, so it's probably a bad translation. But it's one way he does malacha. The lomika dira, that's not called the dira. Sharei Rashi Pir shows him malachto bechitzoina. Rashi says he's doing his work in the outer one. Because is that partner? That's his partner. They sure are right because it's temporary. Being kavua shows him a malacha, but a permanent structure where you do malacha in that permanent structure. But it requires mezuzah. Lokar, maybe also no worse than the warehouse we're talking about. Says the brackets can you on this idea. Chav test. From Shal Kasef Shtei Sukkos Sheyotzi Sulim Mezuzah Chitzon P'turim Mezuzah B'Shem P'tura Kalashona. Everybody's done this halacha. Two sukkos of the potters. The outer one is exempt. It's not kabua. Kasef Arayvin. The right way says Shona. Abba Pini say no keba. Even the inner one also has no keba. Kalashona. Kavanas of Perish Rashi. It certainly means like Rashi. Avram and Yeshua Fresh Pnim is kabua. Okay, but the Rambam must hold the Pnimis one is considered to be a kavua, as chalei shem kavua. Shari lokas of shena kavua. He didn't write it's not kavua. Shena kivua. He wrote it's not kavua, and I wrote the chitzayna. But the chitzayna is not Pnimis. But Tum Shulchan did not explain. Not to be out Rambam. Astonishing with the Rambam. Lama says, Lama lo tam zeh. But Gemara it's a kushel beishar. The Gemara says, why is it reason? The Gemara says this thing, the Eno Kavua, Shena Kavua is on a Beishar. Right? They pass Beishar Paturim is a Shem sign. Anyway, the Rambam holds the Beishar is Patus. He said, which is bar, Psiat Ishmael, as we shall see. Because she's bar, see, Lamagimel, that's a Shabbat, putting what he says, Lamagimel, with which we'll conclude today, but without the Arukh HaShulchan's explanation. Surely we'll come to Lamadal tomorrow, and then it works out fine. Chsaj, the place has three walls, Vitikra, and a roof. Even though it has two pillars on the fourth side of Pturat's exam. Those pillars, they're made to support the roof and not on account of doorposts. But it has a wall on the fourth side. Even though it's low, it has very large windows. It's that's the Rambam Dafka Kshesh Del. It's going around. Of course, it has to have a door. I feel even Alexandra has lots of windows on both sides. It has the doorpost and lintel. Rambam Gamdelis. Rambam also has a door. Lamrav. Gosim biyuma. Tani b'sharecha. You learned in b'sharecha. Echad shari batim. Gates of houses. Chuli. Yoshin barbav beis sharach sadra merpesa. What about a gatehouse? An sadra or a merpesa, a porch? Tamar a bais. No, my bais michla dira. A house is specifically for dwelling. Yotz elishim michla dira is supposed to which you don't dwell. Noach is tiny lehefech. Noach says the opposite. Beisharach sadra merpesa is chayevim mezuzah. Or it says have to mezuzah. So it's a contradiction. Yuma and menachos and sham. Okay, so Barsaja, the one asks. It's an answer. The Kamaya below Ruach Havis. Here it's talking about where there's no fourth side. The Uzpatur, then it's exempt. That's a yuma. Nachos uksheyesh mechitzer vuach vis. Nachos there is a wall for like much kosabas yevadem like a word previous. Achashasham lo yizkir brayso the yuma and the name of Rav Chisda, but doesn't mention the brayso in the yuma. It only mentions the statement of Chisda. The Chsad Shabtur mezuzah, Chsad Shabtur mezuzah. Baruch mi brayso and answers asked in the brayso there. Umataritz much kosabnu and answers like we said. Beishar mir peses los kamar berumi yadadodi. But the rest of the contradiction, Beishar mir peses is not mentioned in the Gemara. Rashi Sham, Rashi there, Besukkah and Chetz, Bemenachos, B'Yuma Sham, Kosim with the rice of Tire. They say with the rice they're exempt. All three, Beshar, Sadra, and Mirpeses. Because Shina Mikra Vachiv, like we learned from a pasuk, Vachiv Mirabban, Chivus Mirabban, Ayin Sham. From Besukkah Sham Mitzkim Zeh, Ran agrees. They should Besukkah Lemagol Chiyuv. The Ochayik is open to a place which is Chayiv, Ayin Sham. And yes, he holds it's the Rabbanan. Free because it's a trade to show the real answers. Be kashal chulei. Hasik shabatim ptuchim mitochem. Depends if houses are open into that Beishar or that Aksach or Mirpetzis. Then it's chayiv. If it's talking about Kavas Kenu, you have to say this is the Kain. This is what it means. Imash Beishar who bechotzer. The Beishar is in a chotzer. Kipir Shrashi Yuma Shom like Yuma Shom Yuma Vzel Shono. Beishar, and this is what he says. Rashi Beishar by its kon shos in a Yishar chotzer. A small house you put from the opening of the courtyard. Patim mezuzah. That's ever mezuzah. It's a beishar to a chotzer. If you have beishar couldn't babai, so it was open in front of a house. Oh, that's different. Pasul abites open the house. Chayiv gam pesach hashem kshav chutz to chayiv. Required mezuzah not just on the side which enters the house, but also on the outside as well. Besides, it's way to the house. Okay, so here's Ba'amor Shem. Ba'amor says something similar. The Pasuk L'Bayis Chayv. When it's open to a house, it's Chayv. Pasuk Chatzach Chsad is open to a Chatzach Chsad says, then the Beishar is Potter and Sham. V'Arankos HaKonis Rit the Pasuk Chatzach Gankin Chayv. One writes interestingly. Then the if it's open to the Chatzach, it's also Chayv. On the plate there, that which you pat is the Pasuk L'Gina, not to a yard, to where it's open to a garden. La base diroi. That's not all base diroi. Chen kasab Rambam Milchom Tzad Sham. Chaykas be'emes bekabanas rikumash kusavnu. Mordechai he says not that way. He says it's chotzer and bais, not between a chotzer and a gina. Let me give a chemis way to be around. Mishkas a beishar achsajim and peses vagina vadir the beishar the achsajim and peses and the gina and the deer and animal stables between the mezuzim neish emus and the deer because it's not made for dira. If their houses, which Chayav mezuzah open these places, then Chayav mezuzah they require mezuzah kal shara. Only when their house is open to them. Not something else. So Ram always follows the reef. So we should learn with that way as well. The batim, not chatzeros. But Ram also ends. If you know, gates to chatzeros or mevos, or gates to medinos, to districts, ayoros, it says hakol chayav mezuzah. Why? Because houses chayav mezuzah open onto them. If you saw batim pasuch l'zeh, you have 10 houses, one open to the other. Zeh pasuch l'zeh hova pnimi chayav, since the inner one is chayav mezuzah, kulan chayav and they're all chayav. They say mushar pasuch migina l'chotzer chayav mezuzah. So it says mushar pasuch migina l'chotzer. What do you mean? Must be a house at the other side of the chotzer. Akal l'shoyim. Okay, but that the Arukh HaShulchan is going to have to explain to us, and that will have to wait till Lamed Daled.